Hey everyone, Light487 here again. Today I received a new product from ecigswarehouse.com.au. Now I received this particular product with an order that I paid for myself, but I received this particular product free of charge for the purposes of review. As always, my views and opinions will remain objective and honest. Now it's called the eGo-T. T standing for tank. Basically, it's a standard sort of ego atomizer. Well, at first glance, it looks like a cone type, ego atomizer. But when you look inside it, it's got this sort of metal plate down there and a sort of black sort of knob sort of poking out. And essentially, that's required for the ego tank cartridge to actually function. Now in there you can see that there's actually liquid already that I've pre-filled in there, and I've been using this over the course of a day. I haven't been vaping it constantly, so I'm not really sure how long that cartridge is going to last, but there's probably around about a mil or so in there. Anyway, the way you fill it's quite simple. When you get it, there's a little hole at the top here. Not sure if you can see it, but essentially it's sealed when you first get it, and when you put it in, that black knob that's sticking up basically breaches the seal, making the hole. And then all you do is you just get a standard sort of dripper bottle, and you stick it on the top and you line it up with the hole, and you just carefully drip in there, and once you can see it's just dripping straight through, you can push a bit harder, squeeze a bit harder, and just drip, 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 and fills straight up. No syringes, no messing around trying to pull the cap off that I've seen other people do. It was really, really simple to fill. So anyway, so I'll just chuck it back on there. So because it's a cone shape atomizer, you need to have something like this, which is sticking up rather than flush. So my box mod, the connection is flush with the box, so it's not going to, that cone, that flange of the cone's just not going to let it go on. But for example, you could use a standard 510 battery, see, because it's not, there's nothing's blocking that cone. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short video now, and then in a few days I'm going to do another video, and I'm going to join them together, because what most people are saying about these is they're really good when you first start vaping on them, and then in a few days the flavour starts to go away, etc., that kind of thing, and it's like you do expect with atomizers and things that they are going to wear, and eventually they're not going to work as well as they did the first day, but a few days is just a ridiculous amount of time for it to wear out. So this is really just my first impressions. So as you can see, there's a decent amount of vapor there, quite a good amount of vapor, pretty standard for a 3.7 volt device. The flavour is really good. I find it, like one of the better sort of flavour production units. Now, throat hit, it's quite mild. When I first started, when I got it this morning, I had absolutely no throat hit at all. But now it's starting to get a bit more throat hit. Certainly not as much as an LR atomizer or a cartomizer or a standard 510 on a 5 volt device sort of thing. But certainly, I can now start to get that throat hit. One thing I'll say is the actual temperature of the vapor is actually quite cool. It's probably equivalent to what a DSE 801, the big chunky atomizers are, or 801 or BE112, which is basically the same thing. they vape basically the same. You know, they've got the big vapor production, the great flavour, but very, very cool, almost cold vapor. But anyway, as I say, that's just the first impressions. I'm not getting any leaking at all, despite the fact that it's just a hole. And the thing there, yeah, it's first impressions are quite good. Although as I say, I'm more of a person who likes a bit of warmth to my vapor, and I like a lot of throat heat as well. But overall, you know, at this stage, it's quite a good vape. Anyway, you'll actually see me just come back in a few seconds, but in reality, it'll be a few days, basically until at least I've refilled this tank at least once, and just to see if, you know, it's lacking in any way. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so I'm back, and it's actually been about a week since I last recorded that last video. Here is the eGo-T. I've made sure I've recharged this properly. Now, between my last video and this one, I heard that on the 900 milliamp eGos and other batteries, these actually work a little bit better in regards to the warmth of the vapor, as well as the amount of, you know, throat heat and all that kind of stuff. Apparently, these smaller batteries put out less voltage than the bigger batteries. Anyway, I'm still, as I say, I'm still vaping. This is onto the third fill of the same tank. As you can see, I'm still getting, you know, like a good amount of vapor. The flavour, I've found it to be the same amount of flavour all the way through, from the very first to now. So I haven't noticed a drop in flavour that a lot of people have reported. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's just the atomiser is, you know, better on this one, or I don't know. I'm not sure what that reduction in flavour is being caused by for other people. But I guess it's, you know, it's all quite a subjective thing. Some people like some atomizers, some people like other cartridges. 6 volts, 5 volts, 4 volts, you know, 3.7 volts. You know, everyone likes something a bit different. But yeah, I mean, I can't really fault it for what it's attempting to do. Probably the only fault, as I say, is the 650 milliamp battery, which is putting out less voltage. Now, this is a standard Titan battery, just the standard 510 Titan. Honestly, I mean, it's putting out more voltage. Honestly, I mean, it's not that huge of a difference. I mean, there's a bit more substance to the vapor, I guess. So like slightly more of the throat hit, but it's not like, you know, it's not like using a standard 510 sort of atomizer or anything like that. It's still, like I say, more like an 801 or a BE112 atomizer, which is quite a mild throat hit by comparison to a 510 atomizer. Yeah, I wouldn't say I probably wouldn't buy another one, even though I didn't get this one. I did get this one for free for the purpose of review. I probably wouldn't get another one just yet. I'm not that happy with it that I would probably get another one. But it's not a bad setup, you know. Like, as I say, had a 900 milliamp battery, it might be a bit better, as I say, on the throat hit and the warmth of the vapor. But it's certainly doing its job well. it vapes all the way. This has got, as you can see, about 3/4. It vapes all the way down to the very last drop. Unlike every other cartridge, not atomiser, but every other cartridge that I've ever used on an atomiser, never have I gotten all the way down to the very last drop. So it certainly does do what it's supposed to be doing. And I guess it's just the atomiser itself. So maybe if they bring out, a low resistance version of this, I might, reconsider. When I first filled this, I was able to, I'm not sure if you can see the hole, but there's a hole there, and I was actually able to just drip it directly in to the tank. But every other time, so the second time, the third time, I put the bottle on top and it just wouldn't go in. So the air pressure or water tension or whatever was preventing it from going through the hole. So I did have to use a syringe the second and the third time, but the first time I was able to just drop it straight in. So I'm not sure what the go is there. But yeah. I guess if I didn't have, a 5-volt device like this, and when I wasn't used to that kind of vaping, if this was my first ever e-cig, this would be really good. So don't get me wrong when I say I probably wouldn't buy one again, or I wouldn't buy one. It is a very good, reliable, efficient piece of equipment. But as I say, some people have reported a loss of flavour. I didn't detect that in over a week. Yeah, as I say, it does what it's supposed to do. I hate sort of rating these sort of things. I'm not going to rate it. But anyway, so this was provided to me by ecigswarehouse.com.au. So thanks to you for that. And if you want to pick one of these up, you can get them over there. I'll put a link down in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching.